Hi, Barry Foster here, and welcome back to A-League to the UK. This is episode number 27 with the Newcastle Jets in the Australian A-League, and today we kick off a brand new season with a home game against Brisbane Roar. But before we get to that, we did play a testimonial during the week for Ben Kantarowski, and that finished 2-1 to the Newcastle Jets against Macarthur FC, with Jake Brimmer scoring from the penalty spot and Tete Yengi also scoring in the second half, and Mark Milligan scored a screamer for Macarthur and in the 92nd minute. Just quickly looking at the A-League season preview odds, Sydney FC are 5-2 favourites to win the title. Then comes Western Sydney Wanderers, Newcastle Jets and Melbourne City all on 4-1, Wellington Phoenix at 9-1, and then Melbourne Victory and Perth Glory at 33-1. You can see Brisbane Roar at 50-1. I think they're probably a little bit better than 50-1. And when it comes to Club Vision, the board are expecting me to finish in the top two places this season. So they're expecting a pretty good season once again. The FFA Cup, of course, they don't think is very important at all. We seem to have plenty of money in the bank, over $2.2 million, which is very good, and we are under a wage budget by a few $1,000s. So when it comes to finances, things are looking pretty good at the moment. And we do have one player on trial, Thomas Ross, a 24-year-old winger, a left winger. If anything, he'll just be backup if we sign him. I haven't actually made a decision to do that. He might be okay. I mean, he's got some decent attributes, and then he's got some, well, not so decent. But we've still got time to decide whether we will be offering him a contract. We've got another about 13 days until we have to really make that decision. So we'll just see how he goes in the meantime. But today we've got the first match of the season against Brisbane Roar. It's going to be a home game. So let's go and play Brisbane Roar and see if we can get revenge after that 5-3 defeat in the FFA Cup to the same team. Okay, here's the starting 11 for today's game. We've got Woods in goal, followed by James, Clark, Ansell and Jones across the back line. Brimmer and Sykes in midfield, Payne on the left, Miller on the right, and the attacking line will be shared by Stamatolopoulos and Sumau. Sumau coming back from international duty. On the bench, we'll have Jack Duncan, Donachie, coming back from injury, Donachie, Connor O'Toole, Brandon Wilson, Angus Thurgate, Tete Yengi and Jai Oakes. So Galloway, unfortunately, is injured. Maybe out for another eight days to maybe 2 weeks. That's a bit of a blow, but we'll just have to see how he goes. And Aspro Potomitis, unfortunately, he misses out making the bench along with Ben Kantarowski, who is on the transfer list. But anyway, that's the lineup for today's match against Brisbane. So let's go to the change rooms and see what Carl Veert has to say or recommend saying to the boys. Marco Kurtz, still the manager up there in Brisbane. Anyway, Carl reckons we're favourites for a reason. Well, yes, we are favourites today. That is certainly certainly very correct. I'll go with Carl. We'll take a punt. He can do the tunnel interview as normal. And a pretty fine looking day up in Hunter, at the Hunter Stadium. So can we get revenge on Brisbane Roar? I don't like really saying revenge because I've noticed in Football Manager 21 that doesn't quite work as well as Football Manager 20, where it wasn't a bad team talk to give. But anyway, Newcastle Jets gets this first game of the season underway. And this is Sykes to Brimmer. Brimmer making a home for himself in midfield. He's proved to be quite a good midfielder for us. And that's a cross, a poor cross that's been blocked. Crosses are not very good in Football Manager. Professional players seem to have a great deal of difficulty in putting in a decent cross. Doesn't matter where you play, whether it's Australia or even in the UK. But anyway, this is Nick Ansell now. He's turned out to be a pretty good central defender. Now this is Jones. He's got his opportunity at right back since Galloway is going to be out for at least another 2 to 3 weeks. And this is Samau. Nice ball through to Miller. And he cuts it back and, well, they had to concede a corner there. I don't blame them. That was a pretty dangerous cross by Miller. And this is Brimmer. That's been headed away. Connor Payne now can maybe start something down the left for the Jets. He needs to find a teammate, and all he does, he crosses into a defender. Yes, we see that all too often, I think, in the game, but anyway, we can't do much about it. No score in the other game being played at the moment. Anyway, this is Miller cutting it back. Maybe a deflection there. Brimmer to Sykes, and that's a shot, and that's a goal. I thought he was going to be offside, but he's not. Stamatolopoulos has scored. I think that was a shot. You might even call it a cross, but it's ended up being in the back of the net, although the VAR are going to be... yes, I think he was offside. Yes, disallowed. I thought he looked a touch offside. Let's have a look. Brimmer, Sykes, oh yeah, miles, not just a touch. Miles offside. Decent header, I'll give him that. But no cigar, so it's still 0-0. But the Jets seem to be doing all the attacking and having most of the possession. So this is James to Brimmer. And he puts it back out to James on the left. Now, can he get a decent cross in? I don't think so. Well, wasn't really a good cross. Straight at the keeper. A very, very easy one for Oldfield. I thought for a split second we were going to get a corner. That's driven straight down the park. And that's an interesting shot by Taban, but over the bar, or maybe a little bit wide as well. Well, that was the first probably attack we've seen of Brisbane so far in the game. But anyway, this is Sykes now. Out to Gethin Jones, playing it back to Brimmer. And a good ball out to Miller. Well, that was a shot by Samau. That was blocked as well. This is Sykes. Oh, not a good ball. That's easily intercepted by Brisbane. We'll call out some encouragement to the boys. And this is Brimmer. Oh, he's normally deadly from that range, just outside the box. Anyway, Payne challenging for that header, and this is Clark. Payne had a really good pre-season. He scored quite a few goals for us. He looks as though he's going to be a very good replacement for Costa Petratos out on the left. Petratos is still looking for a new club. I was tempted to offer him a new contract. We actually had a chat with him, but he basically said no. And that's another shot being blocked, but Jones can get it back in. Decent cross, punched away now Brimmer. And he puts it back out to Jones. This is Sykes. Now Miller. Good save by Oldfield. Yes, Costa Petratos, he looking for a new club, but he certainly didn't want to talk to me when we tried to have a chat about a contract. So I think we'll have to forget about him completely. He wanted to be an important player, and I don't think he was really good enough to be an important player. But Payne has looked pretty good so far. Anyway, we're still waiting for our opening goal of the season in the A-League for the Jets. Macarthur FC and Western Sydney Wanderers. A Western Sydney derby there, still 0-0. Wanderers are tipped to be in for a pretty good season. Anyway, this is Brimmer for the Jets. Making a long run, and Sykes to Miller. That's poor. That is very poor. That was a shot. That was a million miles off target. Okay, Brisbane now with a throw. This is Lundy. That's a good run. Now Taban with a lovely goal. Just smashed that past Woods into the roof of the net, and after doing most of the attacking in the game, it's Brisbane who go down the park and open the scoring with a very good goal. And Lundy was allowed to really run too far, cuts the ball back, and that's just smashed past Woods. So okay, we've got a game on our hands now. We might have had 60% possession, but we haven't really done a great deal with the ball. I think we'll demand a bit more to the boys, because I think we should be playing a bit better than this. I mean, we are the current champions from last season and the season before. But luckily, plenty of the match still to come. Although our forward line is certainly flat. It's the best you could probably say for them at the moment. And I think this is going to be the half-time score as we fast approach the 45 minutes. There probably won't be much added time, only a minute. Okay, half-time, 1-0. Let's go to the dressing room and Carl reckons show something else. I think we'll point the finger and say, come on boys, show me, they should do a lot better than this in the second half. Hopefully this will fire them up. We'll find out soon enough. And it's Brisbane getting the second half underway. Certainly Stamatolopoulos, 6.4. You don't often see him rating 6.4 in a competition match. He's been a very good striker for us in the last two seasons. That's a pretty solid tackle there by Miller. In fact, that's going to be a free kick. In fact, I thought he was going to get a yellow card. But Macarthur FC have taken the lead against the Western Sydney Wanderers. And Stamatolopoulos and Sumau not quite clicking up front. Well, that was James with a good header. Now this is Payne. What can he do? Cause Brisbane some pain out there on the left. Sumau playing it through to Stamatolopoulos. Well, good move, but unfortunately the finish was straight at the keeper. So in the end, all too easy for the keeper to save that shot. But it gives me a little bit of encouragement. Maybe we can lift our game in this second half. I think I'll tell the boys to fire up. Now this is James with a corner, easily dealt with by the defence, and Sykes plays it back to James. And he gets a nice cross in, but Miller had his shot blocked. That's cleared by Brisbane. Coming up to 60 minutes, I think we might go to the bench, I think. We'll just see what happens with this particular highlight. That's Miller, I think, with a pretty good header, but this is Gillespie. Bit lazy, somehow Miller gets the ball back. Can he make them pay? And he plays it out to Payne, and Payne is onside. Yes, he is, and that's the equalising goal. And I think the Jets have thoroughly deserved that. A bit of sloppy play by Gillespie out on the left there. Okay, hang on. The VAR are getting involved. Oh, disallowed. Okay. Must have been offside. Let's have a look. Miller? Oh, well, yeah. Can't complain, he was. Probably foot and a bit offside, so 2 goals ruled out because of VAR. Both were offside. But I think we will go to our bench, and I think we've got to do something with the forward line. I mean, Stamatolopoulos not doing well, but anyway, we'll bring on Jai Oakes. He can play as the advanced forward, and Payne. Most people are playing okay. Nick Ansell a little bit flat. I think we'll just do that for the moment. See if Jai Oakes can maybe spark our attacking line. But it's been a little bit disappointing. Plenty of shots, plenty of possession. But we don't seem to be able to put the ball in the back of the net without being offside. Anyway, this is Sykes, the playmaker. A good run right through the centre. Now this is Jai Oakes. Great shot, but a very good save by Oldfield. So another corner for the home side, and James will be the taker. He loops it up. That's headed away. Now Miller. Okay, puts it out to James. And that's going to be another corner. I don't score too many goals from corners, I must admit. It's a little bit frustrating. And that's an easy one for the keeper. Once again, nobody challenging. Okay, we'll make, I think, another substitution. I think I'll bring on Donachie. Donachie can come on for Nick Ansell. Donachie has been out for a while with a bit of an injury. And I think Connor Payne's not playing great. We're going to bring on Thurgate for Payne. Thurgate is going to be better off probably playing as a inverted winger, since he's a right footer. So let's demand more in the last maybe 15 odd minutes of the game. Hopefully we can get a goal back to equalise and get something out of the match. 17 shots to 8, nearly 60% possession, 8 corners to 7, 15 corners so far for the game. I think we'll go attacking. Roll the dice. One last call of encouragement. Can we get something from this game? But it's Brisbane with a corner. Now what are they going to do with this? Goes far post. That's headed away by Donachie. Only as far as Taban, who's the goal scorer. Slips it back to Gillespie. And he plays it off one of our defenders. And now this is Miller. Can he spark up an attack here? Somebody's well and truly offside. But Miller puts a cross into Jai Oakes. Oh, no, a good shot by the fellow, but a very good save by the keeper. I really thought that was going to be the equalising goal. And Bremer with another corner. That's headed away. Now Miller plays it back to James, but end of the highlight. So maybe this is just not going to be our day. 3 minutes of added time. Bremer with a free kick. And that's headed away. But James can keep possession. He plays it back out to Miller on the left. That's a poor cross. And Brisbane can take it out of defence. This is Taban. He's done the damage today against the Jets. Good run all the way down the park, and Sai, well, in the end, Woods made a bit of a meal of that save. Seemed to bounce out of his hands. So Brisbane with another corner. Maybe 2 minutes left in the game. They'll probably take their time. Don't blame them. This is Tilio. Oh, well, free header. I had a feeling that was going to happen, and that was Aldred with a free header from a corner. I don't know if somebody was marking him. If they were, it was pretty slack, but I left his man for dead. And Woods really couldn't do much about that, so 2-0. So that's very disappointing. Opening game of the season to to be beaten 2-0 at home, and this is James to Thurgate. Probably only seconds left in the match. Now Brimmer. Not quite too sure what he wants to do with it, and in fact he's given it away to the wrong player. And this is Airedale, or Idale. You take your pick, with a pretty good run. I hope they don't make it a hat-trick of goals. And that cross is blocked, but that's it. So it finishes 2-0 to the Brisbane Roar, even though when you look at some of those stats, they were heavily favouring the home side. But Brisbane come away with the 2 goals. Taban in the 28th minute and Tom Aldred in the 92nd minute. And that really wasn't the sort of start to the campaign that I wanted. I'll tell the boys it simply was not good enough. And I don't think it was. The assistant can do the old interview there, and as you can see, we're rock bottom of the table after our opening match of the season, which is very disappointing. And in the other match, it finished 1-1 between Macarthur and Western Sydney Wanderers. But Adelaide United, Melbourne City, Perth and the Phoenix are still to play. So not a great start to our third season with the Jets. Tactical blunder ends winning run. Newcastle Jets fan were left questioning their manager's tactics today after witnessing Newcastle Jets 2-0 A-League defeat against Brisbane Roar. A 4-3-3 DM-wide formation had proved successful during Newcastle Jets' recent run of straight wins, but manager Barry Foster's decision to switch to a 4-2-4 wide proved to be Newcastle Jets' undoing. Well, there you go. As soon as you change your formation and you have a defeat, they're on your back. Anyway, Marco Kurtz, he was pretty satisfied with the win. I think the assistant can do the old press conference. So what are we going to do? Let's have a look at the schedule coming up. We've got Perth Glory next. Brisbane Roar again. That's a funny sort of a draw. Away from home, and then Wellington Phoenix. I think what we'll do, we'll play those 3 games offline. We'll come back for the Melbourne City game, which is a home game for the Newcastle Jets. Melbourne City, they're shaping up to being a pretty good side this season. So that's what we'll do. We'll come back for Melbourne City. So that's the video for today. Unfortunately, a 2-0 defeat for Newcastle Jets, once again against Brisbane Roar, who are proving to be a little bit of a bogey team for us at the moment. But anyway, I'm Barry Foster. Until next time, it's goodbye from me.